Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is January 23rd, 2026, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 23. You know, it is hard to pick one verse this morning to focus on, but I think the main part is be aware of yourself and your surroundings. You know, in all my readings, it has to do with being aware of yourself and your surroundings and how are you going to react to them. In my reading in Genesis today, we saw Jacob choosing to act out of fear. And instead of trusting that when God said go and I'll take care of you, that it would happen. We saw his sons acting out of anger, and they chose to do something that created a problem for them that they weren't going to be able to get themselves out of. Solomon today in Proverbs 23 and verse 9 says, don't speak to a fool or speak into the ear of a fool. He'll despise the insight of your words. In verse 17 he says, don't let your heart envy sinners. Instead, always fear Yahweh, for then you will have a future and your hope will never fade. So he gives a promise. Put your focus on God. Where is your focus today? In 19, he says, listen, my sons, and be wise. Keep your mind on the right course. What's your focus? Is it what the world has? Or is it what you want? Or is it you want fair? Or you want justice? Or is it that you want God? You know, I'm reading Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence. And I decided to take a week for each one of the conversations and letters to let it sink in, and so I read it every day. And it's not that I'm dense, I'm just really wanting to understand, and this morning that message really stood out to me. Is your focus on God, or is your focus on the trivialities of life? And when you can stay focused on God, Brother Lawrence says, then you find that you achieve that next level of connection with God. And you find a sense of purpose and peace. Now, these are my words, not his, but as I've been reading it this week, that's what God's been talking to me about. And then I find in Proverbs, as I'm reading about don't get drunk, here's all the bad things that happen, which I know I'm an alcoholic. I got to stay away from the people that drink, and I have to stay away from the drink itself, right? I'm realizing it's not about staying away from the drink. It's about where my focus is, not where my focus should be away from. Because if I'm focused on not drinking, I'm focused on drinking. But if I'm focused on God, I have no need for a drink. If I'm focused on avoiding porn, I am focused on porn. If I'm focused on not lusting and averting my eyes, I am focused on the lust nature of myself. But if I'm focused on God, and I find the world gets in the way of that conversation with Him, and so I want to address whatever I have to address and get back to God, then those distractions those testings have no influence in my life. And know that to be true, because when I can practice it, it's absolutely perfect. Proverbs 23:17. Don't let your hearts envy sinners. Instead, always fear Yahweh. That's the message for today, guys. It's a message for me. Hopefully it's a message for you as well. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.